This is the HTC Evo disassembly. Probably one of the easier phones to work on. I give this one a difficulty level of 3 out of 10. Like I said, relatively easy. Not much to this phone. Basically remove the battery cover from the back. This one happens to have an extended battery on it. If you've ever had an Evo, go ahead and pull your battery out and your micro SD card, and then additional 6 Torx screws in the rear panel of the phone. And if you've ever worked with an Evo before or used one, you'll notice that battery is not one of its strong points. So a lot of the ones that I see do have an extended battery installed in them. So go ahead and get these screws out. And once you do that, go ahead and take a medium thickness pry tool, and you'll find that this back piece snaps off really easy. Just take a shallow pry around the edges, comes apart really, very little effort involved here. There are a few snapping pieces that hold it together. And just go all the way around the outside until everything releases, and that'll just go ahead and pull off. Not much to that. Now you're going to have 3 flex cables here. Go ahead and remove the main sticker, the UPC sticker. Gonna have to take that off, and from that point you're gonna have your lens, LCD, and speaker flex attached to the board. Don't worry about the speaker flex, that's the one closest to the top of the phone near where the camera is, but I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tape on all of these anyway so you can see where they are. That's the LCD, that's the lens, and this last one is for the for the camera. Don't worry about the camera. We're going to go ahead and leave that attached to the board. So open this gate from the inside. The one in the center actually opens from the outside, so you have opposing gates there that you need to release. Once you do that, there's one screw up here in the top right-hand corner if you're looking at the back of the phone, and that's the only thing that really holds the board in, other than some pieces on the other side where it is just underneath a little panel. So after we release that top screw, which is a crosshair, just go ahead and pry it along the edge here a little bit, and you'll find that it slides out. Now very carefully, like I said, go ahead and leave the camera attached, that top flex. Well, it'll be at the bottom where you're looking right now, but the other ones will slide out very easily. And what we're going to do is go ahead and just pull the camera out very gently from the front half of the phone, and go ahead and leave it attached to the board. No reason to disconnect that at this point. Now, this one has a shattered lens, so I'm not too concerned about this flex. Normally, I would heat it off and be real careful about removing it if I was trying to preserve the lens. In this case, it doesn't really matter. You could even cut it off if you want to. It's not a big deal. But this feeds through the bottom of the phone here, right between the center buttons. So what I'm going to do now, and I recommend you do whenever you're working with broken glass, especially something that has a lens that's separate from the LCD, is go ahead and put a piece of clear tape over this. This will help keep you from getting broken shards of glass in your fingers, and it also helps to keep it all in one piece. It's a little less likely to shatter this way, although you see later on in the video that I actually did break a couple of pieces of glass in the process. So go ahead and heat that up. Most of the adhesive will be at the top and the bottom, although it does run down the side rails here to seal out the dust. This is actually a refurbished phone, so it's been broken before, which kind of makes it nice because it makes it a little bit easier to disassemble. And the only thing is they don't do a really good job of sealing the edges, so a lot of times you'll notice dust inside here. But go ahead and start at the top, right where the earpiece is, with your pry tool. That's the easiest way that I found to access or to get this started with prying. Hopefully your glass isn't too broken apart at the top, but even if it is, you can take a narrower pry tool. You can see I have my nylon pry tool here. It's very thin, but unfortunately it's not stiff enough to really get under here well. So I'm going to take a pre-dulled razor blade. Remember, don't use sharpened razor blades when you're prying. Make sure you dull it down first. That way you don't cut anything, but it is easier to get into these very, very narrow openings. And as I started to pry this here, you'll see a piece of glass gets cracked a little bit. We want to be really careful that we don't get a long piece of glass and have it break anywhere around the LCD, because that way if you do, you'll end up prying up and the inside of the glass may go apply pressure on the LCD, which is a bad thing. You don't want to break these LCDs. I think last time they checked, they probably run about $30-35. So Just be real patient here. Apply a liberal amount of heat. Remember, not too much heat. You don't want to melt the phone, but you do want to heat up the adhesive so that it's very easy to pry under. And again, you'll see this one isn't too bad because it has been removed before. This is an aftermarket lens that one of the insurance companies put on here. And not a bad job overall. I didn't find any problems that they, or mistakes that they had made when they assembled this one. Once you get all the way around the top and the edges, you can go in on the sides a little bit at the bottom, and you'll see that this thing just peels right off. This, like I said, this is real easy because they didn't, it's not the original lens. And take note, you'll see I point out here in the middle, and there's the flex cable feeding through the center. And right now at the bottom of the lens, we're going to want to make sure that we keep these 4 little diffusers. Those are so that your home or your bottom row keys will light up when the phone's turned on. And in the next video, I'll show you how to put this thing back together.